The closest word that I could think of that can begin to describe what I felt and what I feel in learning that actually, according to these whistleblowers, that I am on this quiet skies list, that my own government, my president, my commander in chief is targeting me as a potential domestic terrorist. The closest word that comes to mind is a complete sense of betrayal. And it's betrayal because I, like so many Americans, enlisted because of the Islamist terrorist attacks on 9/11, enlisted to serve in our country's military, to ensure the safety, security, and freedom of the American people, to go after and defeat and destroy those Islamist terrorists who continue to pose the greatest short and long-term threat to us, to our security, and to our freedom. And so now, after serving over 21 years and continuing to serve in our nation's military, my own government has labeled and is targeting me directly now as a domestic terrorist, as they are many others. I'm not alone in this. Of course, this list is not being made public, but we can look to what the Biden-Harris administration has done in multiple cases of how they have there have been leaked conversations, leaked files, leaked documents, and even statements they've made in public saying that this threat of domestic terrorism and extremism is so great, and often very likely it is those in the military or military veterans who are these potential threats here at home. It is more than a slap in the face. It's more than a punch in the gut. It is a complete betrayal coming from our own government that they are using our taxpayer dollars, our resources. They are using people like the air marshals as weapons and pawns to target their political opponents. And that's really what this is all about. This just points to the insanity of what this government is doing. My husband is a cinematographer. He makes films and commercials and music videos. He supports me in what I do, and I'm so grateful for it. But he is not at all involved in any kind of political discourse or debate, either in person or online. And so for him to be receiving the very same treatment that I have been receiving with this continual quad S is what they called it. You showed the image of the boarding pass, the SSSS mark. He was just on a flight a couple of days ago and still has that showing up on his boarding pass. And so for people who don't know what that means, it means that you cannot check in online. You have to get your whether you have check-in luggage or not, you've got to get your boarding pass from the ticketing agent. They will hand you the boarding pass. If you have TSA pre-check, that goes out the window. You go through the regular TSA line. Once you get there, you got to wait for a supervisor to come and show up. Can take a little while, as we've experienced. They have to shut down an entire lane, an entire screening lane through the TSA checkpoint just to screen you individually because it takes so long. They will check all of your electronics. They will empty every single article, your toothbrush, your underwear, your clothing, your books, your, battery charger, every single article from your carry-on luggage, and screen and swipe every single piece of it. So it takes 30 to 45 minutes. And then once they give you the all clear, then you go and you board your flight. And sometimes you may get additional screening at the gate before you're allowed to walk onto the plane. So this is not only happening to me, it has happened to me. It's continuing to happen to my husband, and it happens to a lot of other people. I heard from a TSA employee through one of these experiences, and I'm not going to out them at all, but they could not make sense of the fact that how someone in the military could be getting this screening, and also how they had seen how Trump supporters who previously were not in that Quad S designation now were continuously marked with Quad S on their boarding pass. So through our legal action, I'm grateful to ACLJ and you and Jay and your whole team that's come together to fight for our First Amendment rights in this country so that we can shut down these constitutional actions and take it all the way to the Supreme Court if we have to.